this further. When we have people, the service chiefs, the commander-in-chief of armed forces, whose oath and responsibility is to ensure the security and welfare of our people, not guaranteeing the safety of our people during elections. I haven't known that we are going to conduct elections. Elections aside, if you are telling us you can perform the magic in 6 weeks, whether or not there is an election, the life of every single Nigerian is as important as that of the president.
But I understand that they didn't say they will guarantee, they will sort the challenge out in 6 weeks.
That makes it even more complex. That means we are not even sure election is going to hold. You see, I think this matter of urgent national importance should come up. All the service chiefs should come before the two houses, and they should be grilled. We cannot be thrown into a state of confusion at this time.
Let me ask you, has any law been violated with this rescheduling of elections?
Well, I'll say yes and no. Yes, in the sense that, you see, there have to be a spirit and letter to any law. What the law anticipated was not ill-preparedness of our people for something we knew was going to happen.
But the Electoral Act says it gives the reasons why elections can be rescheduled.
That is the letter.
They were not cancelled, they were rescheduled.
No. I'm telling you this. But the spirit of that law was to make sure that this only happens at times of necessary, unexpected emergencies. But this is not an emergency, sir. This is, Nigerians, this is not an emergency. This is ill-preparedness.
Over 20 million people. I did ask Honorable West Dahosa, at the time that the elections were scheduled to hold, over 20 million people had not collected their permanent voter cards. Then they talked about security. And then some also spoke about the electoral materials arriving, the ballot papers arriving, and all of those issues. I mean, many said, look, they've not been properly addressed. Should we have gone ahead with elections?
There's something we call substantial compliance. When I hear people question Ijega and said, oh, he said we were ready, we were ready. Even the day he canceled the election, he said we were ready. There's what we call substantial compliance. The ruling party have been a beneficiary of substantial compliance in many precedents, both at appeal and Supreme Court level. So what are we talking about here? This is the same man who conducted the election 4 years ago.
The chairman of INEC?
Yes.
Are you discounting and saying the postponement on election day where everybody thought they were going to vote? That doesn't matter, does it?
Well, look, the postponement is a sad thing in history of democracy or semblance of it in our country. We cannot hide away from this. This is a serious issue.
I mean, the first time.
You said what?
Not for this elections.
Okay.
The last general elections we had. Remember, everybody went out there saying we were going to vote. Nobody saw that coming. And some others have said, look, that may have been what we would have faced again this time if this window didn't pop up.
But look, the issues we're facing now existed then and still exist even in the most democratic world out there.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you this today. Mark this and quote me. Even with 80%, 100%, we're not going to get absolute collection of all the PVC.
Okay.
But at the end of it all, less than 50%, if we attain 50% of the eligible voters coming out on that day, we would be adjudged one of the best democracies in the world.
All right, well, we'll come back and continue this discussion in a minute, but we'll have to go and join Omelogo Nadi, our correspondent who joins us from Abuja. She's also talking about the elections. Hello, Omelogo.
Yes, indeed. The House of Representatives' 5 weeks recess to facilitate members' participation in the 2015 general elections ended today. Plenary commenced with 6 defections from the ruling People's Democratic Party. The All Progressives Congress and the Labour Party gained 2 members each, while the All Progressives Grand Alliance and the Accord Party gained a member each. The Speaker, Minu Tambuwal, in his resumption speech earlier said crucial amendment bills before the National Assembly for which passage must be expedited include the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, currently at the Harmonization Committee stage. The amendments in that bill is expected to provide the legal framework for the participation in the elections by internally displaced persons, IDPs. The Speaker also urged Nigerians to sustain the spirit of peace despite the postponed elections and mixed reactions and go out en masse to vote on the rescheduled dates. Back to you, Chamberlain.
Well, thank you, Amelago. We'll take a break here, but we'll be back. Join us again. Welcome back. Now, Mary Aleda Yusuf is here now to give us some more information about what else is happening. Hello, Mary.
Thank you, Chamberlain. All week, you've been reacting to the question, do you think the postponement of the general elections by INEC is justified? With options, yes, no, and don't care. And the results are now out. But before we go to them, let's take in these reactions from different states.
The Jega-led INEC has done this before. I remember I was far away in my village in Ogugu land in Kogi State, voting when at about 1 o'clock or thereabout, we were told to go that there was no result sheets in some other parts of the country.
It's not right because to me it means that maybe the country is not organized because insurgency is not a current issue. It's issues that everyone know about it, which would have programmed the necessary arrangement to make sure this thing is conducted.
Let us give them the benefit of doubt and let us hope that the military will come and perform their duty as per the election.
A lot of people as planned towards the election. It's quite a lot of things, budget. A lot of people have budget towards the election and it's a really setback.
If you look, everywhere was so sensitized. It's like there was going to be war, there was tension. Even a lot of people from the north this way, they were going home thinking that there would be war.
The country is not settled. If they should continue the election like that, by the time they really want to do the election, maybe things will turn upside down. So I feel glad when I hear them postponing the election.
Well, it looks like lots of people are unhappy about the postponement, mostly for personal reasons. And those who are happy cite unrest, real and apparent, as well as PVC distribution as their reasons. Here now are the results. Those who said yes, 37%. 59% said no, and only 4% said don't care. That's all on Talk Back tonight. Here's Chamberlain with the rest of Nigeria 2015.
Well, thank you, Mary. Interesting results there. Well, let me get back to Honorable Arigbe Osola here. Well, the National Assembly, they've reconvened. They will take a look at this matter when the chairman appears before the Senate. But if you look through the presentation that the chairman of the commission made on the 5th of February at the National Council of State meeting, remember the Senate President was in attendance, the Speaker was in attendance, and they perhaps also heard out when he spoke in the second to the last paragraphs there where he says, going through one of them, he says, quote, "No matter the extent of our readiness, if there are serious security concerns, the successful conduct of free, fair, credible and peaceful elections will be greatly jeopardized. INEC has been working with these authorities, especially under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, but our concerns have not been assuaged." And then he went on to talk about the other part where there were suggestions that elections be rescheduled by at least 6 weeks within the provisions of the electoral legal framework. So they all knew that this 6-week matter had popped up there before Nigerians eventually knew that 6 weeks was going to be. So if they come on carrying on as if this was never on the cards, wouldn't that be strange?
Well, it is strange. The president said he was never informed. I mean, that bothers me.
What about the Senate President and the Speaker?
Well, the truth is this. When such issues were resolved or discussed, there was no resolution. Okay? There was no agreement. Okay, now, this is 6 weeks. 6 weeks will definitely be added.
This was a suggestion.
It was a suggestion
at that time.
But let me tell you this. On the condition that our security cannot be guaranteed, the man is more reasonable than any other person involved in this. We have to give him kudos. His job is to conduct election, not to ensure the security of Nigerian people. But if his job will be impaired by the unseriousness of a group of people whose job is to provide security, then he would rather not do it. That is what he said.
Doesn't it come across as if when we talk about security for the elections in the northeastern part of the country, it's not mere policing. We're talking about insurgency, suicide bombers.
Yes.
Across the world, we've seen countries facing this challenge, and they're still grappling with it. What makes us think that our case is different? Is it because we're about to do elections, and so let's carry on, assuming that, yeah, there won't be any suicide bombers, or if that were to be the case, we can handle it?
Elections were held in Pakistan. True or false? The truth is, this was an attempt to pander to a group of people who were afraid of the possible outcome of the election. This has nothing to do with security.
You think so?
Yes, if it does have something to do with security, those who were entrusted with the responsibility of providing adequate security should be held responsible for this. This is a waste of Nigerians' time.
But I did ask you,
yes,
what laws have been violated? I mean, if this shift happens, is it completely out of place?
No. I'm telling you, the anticipation of the law, the spirit of that law did not anticipate accommodating carelessness, incompetency, or inability of certain people to discharge their duties. I think the National Security Advisor should be invited to come and answer questions. I think all the service chiefs should come and answer questions from Nigeria. I think also the Inspector General of Police should be invited. Do you know the economic cost of this to Nigerians?
All right, Honorable.
Extreme.
That's where we have to let it go today. Thank you very much indeed for coming on this evening. Honorable Emmanuel Arigbe-Osola was the former Deputy Minority Leader of the House of Reps between 2003 and 2007. Well, that's the program today. We thank you all for watching. From all of us here today, I'm Chamberlain Oso, signing out.